Okay, hello, hello. Uh, Humor. You had mentioned humor earlier, and one of the insights about humor that I think makes humor so resonant for us is it's an acknowledgement of truth within our being, and which is also why it's so healing. It's like when a comedian, this is on the back of my book, it's like when a comedian connects and you laugh as the audience and you think, oh, I thought I was the only person who felt that way, which is true of the memes that I've come across, like, the monkey waking the other one up saying, the next webinar is about to start, or, uh, yeah, I was laughing out loud. There was a woman who did a video, a comedy video, and she looks, she's wearing like PJ bottoms and a t-shirt, and her baby's pulling on her, and her glasses are askance, and she's doing a work call, and she's saying, yeah, so I checked out the website and that all looks great. And whoever's talking to her, and she's like, oh no, now's a good time. And it's obviously not, but that's the state of being we're in. And so just that laughter of acknowledgement of truth that we resonate with, uh, and it's a way to lower the walls that we may ordinarily have up, so that the message can get in, or the the teaching, or yeah, the something we can extract from it, the meaning can get through without, like, oh, this person's coming at me with meaning or has something to teach me. With laughter, that barrier drops, and then it allows the message to come through. In my view, one of the techniques. So to that end, uh, laughter and lightness, like this lightness of being, that's what really came in today, was this idea of light, and allowing the light in, and being the light beings that we are, and the light bringers, receiving the light. And we'll do a meditation on light. There are a few uh, things that I wanted to share. So this is actually from the Gospel of John, uh, and this is Christ teaching Nicodemus. And this passage just says, this is the verdict. Light has come into the world, but men love darkness instead of light because their deeds were evil. Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that his deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by the truth comes into the light, so that it may be seen plainly that what he has done has been done through God. So, just taking the words of Scripture, I mean, at their face, so, okay, evil, wrongdoing, whether or not that resonates, the extract for me is this idea of when you're a light bringer, and I've experienced this with the name truth, it's like even just being a mirror to what people are feeling within themselves. Oftentimes, I don't even need to say anything, and just that can be confronting, or show people it's a reflection of themselves, and they can be taken aback by what they're seeing. I've experienced. And so this idea of like being a light bringer and sometimes being attacked. And the insight for me here is that, well, if you have something to hide, or you're not living truthfully, so whether you call it evil or sin, or, that's just verbiage, but this idea that if you have darkness within yourself that you don't want revealed, if someone's bringing that or shining a light, you're going to shrink from it, or you're going to try and attack it, or throw a blanket over it, because you don't want that light illuminating those aspects of yourself. And so seeing that in the world also at this time where the soothsayers, the truth tellers, I mean, and maybe people are just speaking their own truth, but if they are shining a light, and how people are attacked for doing so, more than just the message, but personally attacked. And I think that's because people are withdrawing or defensive because they don't want to examine those things within themselves. They don't want to have those aspects be revealed. And truth ultimately will out. Elvis has a quote. He says, "Truth is like the sun. You can shut it out for a while, but it ain't going away. So ultimately, it's going to shine through." So the truth will out like light. Uh, and that's what I want to offer now. Well, Marianne Williamson, if you know her, she teaches. She's a writer and spiritual teacher, and she says two things illuminate another's darkness: is our own darkness or our light. So we can shine a light, and that will illuminate and reveal other people's darkness, or which is a lot of what we see in the world and with news and Facebook, this negativity, it brings out, it draws out the negativity in others, and it really reveals them. So it's a magnet for darkness. But the light is also a magnet for darkness. It's that yin yang. It's like when we shine the light, the dark is attracted to it, and there's an element like in the Tai Chi, in the yin yang, you know, the two fish kind of perpetually swimming around each other. There's an element of darkness in the light and lightness in the dark. So Rumi, and so this is, we'll go into the meditation, we'll do a short meditation, but in examining ourselves and the places where we have wounds, and Rumi says the wounds are where the light comes in. So it's like these cracks in our vessel or in our spirit or in our emotional body. Well, Eckhart Tolle, right? He calls it, what does he say about the wound? Do you know, Sharon? It's the wounded self, something, I'm forgetting exactly what it is, but he refers to this. And so, but the wound, if we look at that as rather than something to cover up or press down or repress, and allow the light to spill into it and in fact come through and transit through that to illumine everything else, that's a method for healing and for shining our own light and enhancing the incandescence of our own being. So that's what I'd like to bring into our meditation, is being the light bringer, the light receiver, and allowing those facets to shine. So we'll do a light meditation today, a light meditation in all the ways we can think of that. Okay. We'll start with the singing bowl. If you think of the tones as a resonant source of light, emanating light, vibrating the wavelength of light. the wavelengths of light. If you picture it as a wave, moving and spiraling outward in all directions from whatever your favorite source of light is. Maybe it's the sun, or your guru, or a child, or a lover, or your own heart. If you can picture the waves rising and falling, with great frequency, emanating everywhere, scattering without losing their potency, their power. Let's call in the light through our breath, through the beating of our heart, through the sounds around us. And visualize drawing light to us like a light magnet. All of the light being generated in the universe from all stars and suns and beings is magnetized to us. Drawn into the place within ourself that we identify as wounded. What wound lay within you? Is it in your spirit body or your energetic body, your physical body, or your emotional body? And what is the shape of the wound? Is it a cut or a gash? Is it a splotch or a mark? Is it a long line or a scar that's short and flat? Is it dark or pink? Is it a fresh wound or an old one you thought was healed? Just feel into this wounded part of yourself and allow it to open like a portal or a door or a window, to allow the light to enter you. Like raising the blinds or parting the curtains that have blacked out the room in which you were sleeping. And when you part the curtains, the sunlight comes streaming in. Could be a midday sun, bright, radiant, warm. This is the quality of the light that we're allowing and inviting to enter through this wound in our being. It's spilling in from all directions, rushing in painlessly, filling the space of the wound, drawing a white, hot line but all through the power of the light. And this white light carries the full spectrum, every color of the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, as well as every shade in between, and many unseen wavelengths in the spectrum, carrying all of that healing light, that healing information, that healing power, streaming into the vessel of our being through this wound, the gateway. And as it pours into us, it's bouncing around inside of us, spreading into every little corner and crevice and nook of our awareness, filling our whole earthen vessel with luminance traveling everywhere, undiminished. If it's coming through our forehead, it's moving down into our body, through our chest, meeting our heart and lungs, into our stomach, our core, our hara, bouncing into our groin and our root, streaming around our pelvis, and then into our legs, down our thighs, into our knees, our calves, ankles, into the soles of our feet, and then into our toes. And this light is bouncing undiminished, undissipated, carrying the same power as it did from the source from which it emanated. And so when it's traveled to the very extremities, our toes, our fingertips, arms and elbows, it makes its way back to our shoulders and our hips, back into the core of our being, and again up into our chest and our neck, carrying its abundant energy and healing power back into our brain, our mind, into our eyes, nose, throat, mouth, the tip of our tongue, and through the top of our head. We're filled with light. With each breath, we continue to breathe a delicious sip of light through this seam that has opened the gateway. This wound is now the source of invitation, bringing the light into ourselves until all that's left is the outline of our being, like the silhouette of our skin, and within us only light radiating, illuminating. Picture it streaming from your fingertips and your palms, emanating from the pores of your skin, shooting outward from your heart, streaming like white fire or golden cascades or rainbows, or moonbeams coming out of your throat, emanating with your voice, out through your eyes and your ears, from the top of your head. You're like a golden sun, radiating your own light into the world. You're a vessel of light, a prism of light, many facets in your diamond, glowing, radiating, pulsing with your own incandescence. You are a luminant being. Your true nature is light. It's the nature of Source, of God, of loving consciousness, of spirit, of soul, of all that is. We can call the light to us whenever we need it. We can enhance the glow of our own light within us. We can shine our light to whomever needs it, whenever and wherever. Light needs to travel. So with the singing bowl, that'll draw us back to the source of light that we radiate and pulse in time with, in sync with, in unity with. So as we carry forth in our day, if we think about how we can shine our own light like the sun on any problem we encounter, or any person we feel needs it, or any dark corner of our home or aspect of our life that requires some illumination. How can we be more like the sun and shed some light? Because when we have light to spare, when we're just glowing from within, that's exactly what we're doing. We're just shedding light, shedding light, shedding light. So how can you shed some light today? Hmm. Hmm. Thank you for being light bringers and coalescing around this light together. If you have to run for time, feel free to do so. If you'd like to share anything, also, please do. But I love sharing my light and feeling its enhancement by being able to do so, and feeling your own light, the light of you, beautiful beings. Anything to add, or see you next time?
I said it was very relaxing, and I could feel also that it has been quite a lot of meditation, so it's easy to just go to that other space fast. Yeah. I could
Nice.
feel my spine as a place to get more light in, especially the neck. And
Mm.
it was very relaxing. I feel more calm and relaxed now.
Mm.
Mm.
Thank you. There's this great piece of artwork, if you know Alex Gray, and there's a series, and it's like he illustrates the body and the physiology. So with the skin and then not. So you see all the organs, and then you see he also draws the spiritual body and the psychic body and the energy moving around, and then ultimately it's like we're just a collimated beam of light, and there's just light just circling around us, moving around us, and that's what I was drawing in, is just becoming just this vessel of light. And so through that column, like you said, the spinal column is as the main column of light, which is actually right behind me, and then light all around. How about you, Irina?
I had some interesting analogies in the beginning when you were talking about the wounds, so those places inside of us. So somehow for me, the wounds came up to be my thoughts.
Mm.
I often realize that if I don't have healthy or harmonious thoughts, they generate certain emotions. And that's what is actually harmful and damaging for me more than other things. And then I could visualize the sunlight. You're talking about melting those thoughts away, just having more space and more light inside. So that was really insightful for me.
Beautiful. Mm. Yeah, this idea that thoughts too, it's not even something physical, but just the thought itself. And so the melting, and allowing the wound, the injury, the piercing, the arrow, whatever, even if it's consciousness, allowing that to be the vehicle for the light to come in, transforms it. Very powerful. Namaste,
Namaste.
lovely beings. Till next time.
Bye.